Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the X4 tutorials. Today we are going to discuss how to buy ships. So let's dock at a shipyard, which is going to become readily available while I'm doing this in a little bit. Wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? Well, I'm controlling this. No, I'm not controlling this. Remember this sequence because that's going to be important. So I'm docked at the shipyard, which is right here in Argon Prime. So what do we do then? Well, here we are. Buy ships. Right here, this old button, buy ships. But I actually did not have to land. Because if you just are in the map, then you can just select your wharf, for example, and then buy ships from here. Or right click on the shipyard and buy ships from here. And everything is exactly the same menu that you get from everything else. So I actually did not have to land because there it is. That's the menu. Welcome to buying ships. This is where you start choosing something. You cannot choose that or that. You have to choose this, which is the size. Size S, small ships like your couriers, your small miners, your scouts. There is a heavy fighter, but that's a military actually license, and you need to be very well acquainted, shall we say, with the Argons, because this is an Argon station, so of course it will have Argon ships. Other stations will have other race ships. So if you want a Kestrel, you have to go to Teladi, for example. And these, as we said, is military, so unless you are of a very high rank with them, a very high reputation with them, you will not be allowed to buy the license, which in turn allows you to buy the military ships. So, small ships, we can get some of them. Medium ships, we can get some others. Now, these buying can happen right from the front. You don't have to wait a long time before you buy. You just have to have the necessary funds to actually afford them. So if you want to buy a miner, welcome to the screen for buying that. This is how much that one costs. It is bare right now. It doesn't have anything. And the way you know this is because, first of all, it says currently edited ship is missing mandatory upgrades marked in red, which are also marked in red here. So you need to have engines, you need to have thrusters, you need to have some software, and you need some crew. That's common for every ship, not just this one, not only the medium or the small ones, but even the large and the extra large ones, which are going to be bought from shipyards. Wharfs give you small and medium, shipyards give you large and extra large. If you're looking for a destroyer or a carrier, those are your extra large ships, and this is where you need to go, namely the shipyard. So you have selected the ship, and now you can select also a loadout. Now, this is a ship that I like. I'm using a lot of it, so I've actually also saved one, but let's see how I'm building it. If I select the minimum preset, this basically loads it with the barest of minimums in order to be able to do each job. It has equipped it with engines, it has equipped it with some software, some thrusters, and all the little things it needs. It just gave it one crew, the captain. The captain is required. You cannot fly a ship, which is going to be down here. Keep an eye out on that. That's the cockpit, basically. You see it under there. Here it is. Good one. So it leaves open all of these others. It doesn't have any turrets. It doesn't have any shields. No turret. It doesn't have even any main batteries. Although this game likes to call those guns, and battery is only for the capital ships. Also something to keep in mind. This is the weapons. You can install all of these, but they are not strictly required for the job. Although having a miner specifically without some kind of mining drill or a mining turret, there you go, then that will basically mean that that miner will spend a lot of time just going around trying to find for the smallest possible chunks to get into his cargo hold. If you give him a mining turret or a mining gun, then he will be able to break apart the asteroids and get them into a size that he can actually scoop inside his cargo hold. So we need the miners, and this is now how we actually going to give both of them. Notice that we have given one, but there is another one missing because these have tabs. Notice the tabs when you see them. So you've clicked on one, this is tab 1. tab 2, another one, and that goes away now. Now this only has one of those things. Let's see something else. Let's see, for example, that guy. That guy should have more. Nope, he doesn't actually. What about the bomber? Yay, the bomber has plenty. So now it's 4 turrets and 2 main guns, 1 and 2. These are the main guns. These are the main guns here. When you get the icon, there it is. So keep a check on the slots up above here for when you want to use something. So then engines, because it's red, what shall we get? The all-rounders are here explained exactly what they give you. They give you a decent enough speed, decent enough acceleration, decent enough boost speed, and decent enough travel speed. However, the combats are going to be much more geared towards speed and acceleration, not so much as boost and travel. And then your travel engines are concentrating on your travel speed. So, you can make your own choices about what you think is needed as a task for everybody. Maybe your transports need travel engines, and maybe your fighters need combat engines, or maybe your miners need all-arounders, however you want to set them up. However, do keep in mind that with the exception of the combat engines, everything else will need a charge-up time to go into travel mode. When you press Shift 1, as we explained, to go into travel mode, then your engines will need to charge up to start accelerating towards your maximum. Combat engines do not need to charge up. As soon as you click Shift 1, they start accelerating towards their maximum travel speed. So let's say we select this because this is a bomber combat. That's fine. We still need more thrusters, all-round thrusters. And now again, you see down here helpful little lines and numbers about how fast you turn across what axis. And it's up to you to decide where you want. Obviously, Yo is not so much for combat engines, but then it is so much for all rounds. Decide for yourself what you want to do. Shield generators is obviously again 2 of those this one will have. Shield is there you go. Now it has some or none or some, and then once we implement to the second one, that goes up some more. Weapons, as we said, use them. Bolt repeaters, for example, for the one slot, bolt repeaters for the second, and so on. Choose whatever turrets you want, or none. Again, just click that to remove them, and we'll come to the software. So we don't actually need a docking software. For example, your AI ships will never actually use the docking computer. They actually do dock their own ships without the use of those computers. However, if you're going to fly them, then the docking computer number 1 will let you see alignment posts so that you can manually align yourself to the pad before you land, and then it becomes a much more like the elite experience. And if you choose your docking computer MK2, then that just is exactly what I did at the start, which just rush in towards my position, and then once I'm close enough, the computer does take over and it aligns you and lands you. So for 32,000, I don't think that's a lot to ask, actually, is it? No, 32,000 is very, very cheap for what it's doing. Just charge in as long as you can see it, and straight line, go in, and it will take over and even twist you around as I did, as I showed you. Again, though, that's not required, so you can actually leave it off if you're never gonna go there. If you are gonna go there, one of those is highly recommended. Flight assist software, you need that. Long range scanners, you need those as well, at least one, and if you choose for the 2, then that will have much more resolution for all the small objects. For large objects like stations, it doesn't really change that much, but for smaller objects like your crates and your lockboxes, this is much more important. Obviously, you don't care if this is just an AI ship. Object scanner software, again, basic scanner or police scanner. Basic scanner will show very few details about the items you are scanning, and the police scanner will show much more details. Also, the police scanner is the first kind of scanner for a ship that will allow you to extract blueprints from the data leaks you find on stations. Again, basic scanner for an AI ship, of course, why not? police scanner. Do not trust that to go for blueprint hunting. If you are going to go blueprint hunting of stations, then what you need is to get out of your ship and scan them yourself via your spacesuit. That's the best chance you have of getting blueprints, so don't waste it. Targeting software, some kind, it needs it. The computer needs to have some kind of targeting software. And then trading software is just for you. If a trading software equipped ship actually goes through a region of space that has a space station, then the prices of that space station will stay relevant that much longer. Trade computer extension is great to have in all things. It's just 11,000. Don't skip it. Use it for everything. Consumables are important when you consider exactly what the role of the ship's gonna be. First of all, countermeasures. It's not gonna be that much, but use them. You have 2 of them, that's fine. And also you say down here exactly what the inventory space for each ship is. For countermeasures, you just have 2. However, for deployables, you have 100, and here are all your deployables. So that's 100, meaning that all of these share inventory. Have one of these, and then have these and that and that, and that keeps rising. You see this? Up and 100. So even if I move a tracker mine, it's just 1, and I can replace it with a nav beacon. All of these are shared, as if they have the same exact volume. Think of it like that. For what they're doing? Well, advanced satellite has a bigger range than the satellite, but it is not exactly comparable to the price. Actually, what everybody's doing is just buying satellites, because what the satellites are doing are providing constant presence in a system. So, as we discussed before with the software, the trading software, if you are going to use it, then that means that the prices of that station you've just scanned by being near it, then they will stay much more relevant that much longer. However, you can just place down a satellite, and that satellite will provide all the information all the time, unless somebody goes and destroys it, obviously. But because the satellite has a range which is kind of similar to your own ship, then that's why some people might want to use an advanced satellite. However, the advanced satellite doesn't have that much of a more increased range to justify its cost. Just buy much more of the satellites and spread them out much more, and you'll be fine. Nav beacon is just drop it there, and to mark the territory, mark this as something, leave it there. Resource probe is only for your benefit. Resource probe is to drop down near a field of resources like an asteroid field or a nebula, and then that will tell you, for what I am scanning in my range, I notice this concentration of this stuff. I see you have much more ore, you have much less silicon, you have none of nevidium, like that. This is for your benefit. When you instruct a miner, because I can just go and buy a miner, for example, here, and I'm giving him stuff to do. Now, this miner doesn't actually need the deployables, because that miner will just go to that area and mine whatever you have told him to mine. He doesn't care if the concentration is high, low, or whatever, nor can you tell him to go to a concentration that is high. If you told him to mine ore in an area that has none, it will just sit there and not do anything because he doesn't find any ore. But if you told him to mine in an area that just silicon would be much more profitable, he doesn't care. You told him to go mine ore, so he will go and mine what ore exists. The resource probe is for you to see what exists and then know what you're sending your miners to mine. Laser tower is your basic stationary defense. You plop them down and then they shoot at enemies. Friend-foe mines will just blow up as soon as they find an enemy of yours. Mine, whoever comes near them, they will explode. And tracker mine, whoever comes near them will follow them and try to get close to them and explode. Crew is the captain. Every ship has to have a captain when you buy them. There is no exception to that rule whatsoever. Service crew and marines are 2 different responsibilities. Now, we know much more about marines than we know about service crew, so let's talk about marines for now. Marines are what allow you to defend your craft against invasions from other craft. So you have enough marines to repel an enemy invasion, and that's also what you are fighting against. If you send your marines in an enemy ship, then their strength need to be much higher, but that's going to come later in another tutorial. Marines are there to either repel enemy invasions or to invade other ships that you have commanded them to go and invade. Another function of the Marine, though, is very much more simple than that. If you come across any ship that has been abandoned or is just a derelict and can be claimed, then you have the option of actually claiming them using Marines. You can send a Marine to claim and he will just go in there, become the captain, and now the ship is yours. That does carry a small risk though, because basically that means that the Marine will be a Marine about it, and so he will destroy several, or all of the systems there. So the other option of you going there and doing it is much more better and economical. So please do that. The service crew is currently not showing up as something that has any use, apparently. The service crew doesn't have any role to play in any of the AI scripts of the game. Some people have even gone that much inside the game and tried to see if they have an effect. Apparently they do not. Some argue still the point. So you know what? That's up to you to decide. The captain skill does bear a lot of the weight of how capable your ship is. That also is kind of random, so sucks. But just get at least some crew, because the service crew can be, for example, upgraded. You can, if you get a very nice captain, then you can make him a manager for your other stations, and then you need someone to take over the roles of captain so that you can promote a crew. So that's, about one of the good uses you can get. Some others suggest, how many turrets do you have that many crew? Sure. There is actually no best judgment right now for this. We are still trying to figure this out, especially when we don't even have access to the training of the crews, which is a consumable we have found on stations. However, it doesn't seem to have any effect at this time at version 1.5. So much more important, get Marines if you want, or don't get, because they increase the price, but not by a lot. So there you go. Last thing you can do on the station is actually repair it but that's the buying screen, so that's why the repair doesn't show up anything. And then the select loadout is by presets. These are game produced, and this is my own. Because now, for example, that I have selected what I have selected, I can actually save it. And save it like that, and give it a new name, temporary, which is not spelled correctly, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? So I can select now my basic solid miner, and some things are here, or I can select my temporary and I have exactly the same things, because yay. But high preset, high preset, and we get this, but temporary, you bring it back down to there. The plus signs here are the next important thing, because you need to understand about the economy of the game, which is that nothing is spawned or except the raw materials. Something has to spawn. If you waste away all the raw materials in the universe, then what you're going to do, because you can actually waste away, you're mining them pretty aggressively, but no, we're not going to work like that. You don't have any asteroids anymore, that's another topic for another time, but you do have actually stuff like asteroids that are much smaller. You don't build on them. Miners go out and harvest them for resources. So that's the only thing that gets spawned actually. The small asteroids that you're gonna break up to harvest for resources, because then you're gonna need to have those as raw materials to produce everything else in the game. Nothing is spawned. So you need to actually, this factory that I'm buying stuff from needs to actually have these things, all of these things, as provided here by the menu in order for me to actually be able to buy this. If the shipyard or the wharf doesn't have enough of field coils, then that product, the ship, will not actually be able to be produced. And since that product is not being able to be produced, it will be stuck here in the production queue until somebody comes and sells that factory these components, these field coils. So that all creates emotion in the economy. When you buy stuff, you create a demand for these things that have been consumed. And that's how stuff get moved. But not only you that buy, every NPC in the game and every race in the game does the same thing. Nothing is spawned except for raw resources. Everything else is built, which is great for the economy. So you add it to the shopping list and then everything goes away. It's just now shopping list. I have one. You can increase it and buy more of this thing as much as you want. Again, subject to availability. So you buy two of them and then you can confirm the order for these two, because these keep the costs, keep your eye on the costs here. They do increase and decrease as I am playing around with plus and minus. So once you have enough of those, 5 drills for example, sure, let's confirm order, and now things are being built. If I go to the property, then I see that these actually drill vanguards are all being built, so that means that the wharf actually did have enough of materials to build all 5. And that's your ship bought. That's it. As simple as that. You now have 5 new ships that as soon as they finish building, you will be able to actually go and see them. Not only that, but now that I am actually landing on the shipyard, if I go here and buy a ship from it, and buy a large ship, and let's see, I buy a freighter, why not? Let's go and get it a high preset. Yeah, 15 million, sure. Add to shopping list, confirm order. Is that being built? Actually, yes, it is being built. So, am I able to see it being built? And there it is. This is actually your ship being built right now. Yeah, I do realize that the optics are not exactly what they might have been. It's not actually being built from a skeleton with systems added and stuff like that, and it's just a object that gets a transparency layer added to it, and then some things are done not as transparent, and blah 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 blah, all those technical stuff. Yes, it is just a shell, but it is a welcome addition to everything that we have had so far. I think the fact that it's not just about it spawning and buying it as available from all the shipyards up until this point. I'm talking about X3 actually right now, because I don't talk about Rebirth ever. So in the previous X3, in the previous game, X3 Albion and Terran Conflicts, the shipyards would just have them available, and you would just go and buy them without any actually preparation, any kind of, a little bit more lore, if you like. No, this is built. I requested it and now it is being built, and I like this much more. So there it is. You have bought your stuff, they are being built, they are added to everything, and they are added to your list, and you can drive them very soon or give them commands to do stuff. Hope you buy stuff. You now feel a little bit more comfortable about buying stuff, and next time we are gonna see what you're gonna do with these things. What can they do? What happens to them? Do I just tell them go do your thing, or is there anything else I can do? All that coming up in the next tutorial about what to do with your ships. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and as always, keep safe.